For those who don't want to wait, I'll give you a quick overview of the most substantial costs of applying and also going to a university in Europe. First of all, you'll need to take an English exam, most probably, which will TOEFL or IELTS, which will probably cost about, well, $180 to take. After that, some schools want the results to be directly sent from the English exam institution to the university, and each time you send this document, it will cost you $20 for each school that you are applying to. Also, many schools require GRE or GMAT, which is a bit more expensive, so it is about $255 the last time I checked. And similarly, to send the official results, again, this institution requires about, well, it is $27 each school that you're applying. I got accepted to a Dutch university, and after acceptance I needed to send some documents, which usually each sending costed me, well, in total actually it costed me about 20 euros. Again, for the Netherlands, visa and passport costs in total added up to 200 euros. After that, you need to pay the tuition fee depending on the school that you're applying to and depending on your scholarship. For me, it was like 2,000 euros. Lastly, you'll need to pay for your plane tickets. Before acceptance, I paid about 500 euros for the exams, sending the exams, etc. And after acceptance, I paid about 500 euros, except the tuition, and tuition was 2,000. So even like minor costs add up to 1,000, and tuition as well. That's like a whole another issue. I am Nazlı, and I'm a second-year PhD student in the Netherlands. And in this video, I will talk about the costs of applying to master's programs. I will actually show you like at the time when I was applying, and also after application, after I got accepted, I had this journal where I basically put in any type of cost that I made in order to go to a program that I was accepted to. So I would like to show you that file and also talk generally about like what will be your costs when you are trying to apply for master's or maybe even PhD programs abroad. This is, I think, mostly valid for European countries because I almost exclusively, yes, I only apply to European schools. And I actually made a video about how I basically did my research about which schools to apply to, which countries to apply to, and also how to find scholarship, etc. If you want to see that video, I will link that in the top part of this video so you can check that out. You can also check out what were my costs while living in the Netherlands as a master's student. I already made a video about that, so I will link that. So let's check it out. What are the costs associated with applying and also getting to a master's program in Europe? So I will share my screen to show you the Excel sheet where I put all of my expenses related to applications. Okay, let's get started. Let's get started and let's look at my expenses for applying and also getting to a master's program in Europe. Oh, wait, So here, well, you'll see a general Excel sheet for all of the costs. You'll see this Excel sheet, all of the costs. This is all of my costs actually after acceptance, but before acceptance, of course, what you'll need is the most major expenses will be the exams that most graduate schools require you to take and send. These are usually TOEFL or IELTS, so English exams related to that. So you need to take the test, which already costs, I think, about $100. I cannot remember exactly, but you can check it out. It might always change. So it is like about $100 to take the exam, but also you need to send usually official results through, for example, TOEFL institution directly to the school, which means TOEFL can charge you a certain amount to send the official results to the school, which was, as far as I remember, about $20. So each school that requires you to send them the official results will cost you $20 in addition to the exam's original price. So the more schools you apply to, the more official exam results you will need to send, and that will cost you money. So 20 times how many schools you apply to. The similar thing goes for GRE. That is one of the costs that I needed to do. For GRE, again, GRE is, as far as I remember, was more expensive than TOEFL. It is again something about $100. I think it is 180, but don't quote me on that. And you can always go to their website and check. And sometimes schools can also request GMAT. It's an expensive exam to take. And again, similar to the English exam, many schools require you to send the official results through GRE institution or GMAT institution directly to the school. That again costs you around $20-25. You should check how much it is. But every time you send the official results to a new school, you need to pay a certain amount, which sucks, but it is what it is. And also, not to mention, you will need to study for these exams. And one of the ways to make this cheap, I think what I could recommend is that, because their official books are kind of expensive as well. What I did at the time was there were some online resources that was for free. I used some of those, and also I stayed at the university for that summer, and because university had a library with GRE and TOEFL books, so I used the university library's books to study for these exams. But otherwise, if you try to buy all of these books, it gets a bit more expensive, just so you know. But there are ways to maybe make it a bit cheaper. So the next thing after you sent, those are the most costly parts of the application. Usually schools do not require you to send you the official transcripts of a diploma before you get accepted, and it is official that you are going to that school. But after you get accepted, and also it is kind of certain that you are going to that school, the school will ask you to send a variety of documents like transcripts or a diploma with mail. So for those you need to pay the shipment cost. For me this was about for me it was a bit cheaper because the university, my undergrad university, had some sort of a deal with DHL, for example, and DHL can take the documents you're sending to Europe, the schools in Europe. So for me, this costs a lot less than what it could have cost. I think if you don't have the discount, you will have to pay 30 euros or something to send, for example, a document from Turkey to the Netherlands. That is how much I paid when I had to send, for example, something from the Netherlands to Turkey. Or you could, maybe that was the express shipment, but still, it will cost a bit, but it's definitely not as expensive as sending GRE or TOEFL. Usually they want this transcript and the diploma. Well, once you get accepted, what else? And then of course you will, after like you sent all of the transcripts and you kind of got confirmed that you are, well, everything is set, now you need to go through the immigration process, and there are some costs associated with that. For example, I had to pay an immigration fee. So that was to get me the visa that I needed to study in the Netherlands, basically, and it cost me approximately 200 euros, as you can see here. Yeah, so this is basically it. These are some other stuff that I did meanwhile. So just I guess like in future, in case I need to make a video about this, I kind of put everything in. And also I needed to get a new passport because my old passport was not valid anymore. But yeah, for this one, I didn't have to pay so much. It's like in Turkish liras, it's like 100 Turkish liras, which is about now, I don't know, 10 euros. But you use your passport for other stuff. Maybe it's not specific for, yeah, in general. You need to have your passport anyway, so. But still, yeah, if you, yeah, okay. It's, yeah, getting the passport is something additional. I would advise getting the longest term so that you don't have to go through the hassle of getting a new passport again. So right now I have like 10-year passport, which is very, very convenient. So I don't have to like get a new passport until 2029 or something like that. Is it? Yeah, that's very nice. So I would suggest you get the longest one. Yeah, it's worth to pay the difference, even though it is more expensive to get the longer period. Yeah, we had to deal a lot of with the weird system in Turkey to get a passport. It was crazy. You need to take the online appointment and also go to the location at the time and also go get the ticket additionally. Otherwise, they don't count you. It was weird. And you have to get some photos taken, for example, biometric. Most of these places for passport or like for the application, they do require you to send some photos, which needs to be biometric or something like that. So you need to pay for those a bit. Also, just a side note, you also need to, for example, I needed to get a letter from our bank in Turkey in English to say that my parents had enough money in the bank account to support me in case, I don't know, something happened or something. Even though I was getting scholarships like from the school plus some other like source. It is true that the school's scholarship wasn't enough to cover like complete my monthly expenses, so that's they required, but it was a lot of hassle to get a letter from our bank to, I don't know, say that yeah, we have got enough money in the bank. Basically, that was a weird process. I'm so happy that we don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, so apparently I started to look for housing, and it's like they're terrible or expensive. What else? So apparently I also needed to send some original visa documents. To be honest, I don't remember what this was about, but that was another like 6 euros to send. But as a reminder, so like ask if you're still in your undergrad institution, ask if they have some sort of a deal with one of the, I don't know, shipment companies, DHL or something like our university did, so that you can kind of get some sort of a student discount from to send stuff. That was very useful, especially like, yeah, that was really, really useful. So I do appreciate my undergrad institution a bit more right now. What else do we have? Of course, wow. So this is like, okay, so then I think the next thing was basically, okay, sending the visa documents to to get the visa to go into the Netherlands. And after that, I bought my tickets from my hometown to Amsterdam, which cost me above 1,000 Turkish liras, which was like over 100 euros one way to the Netherlands. So that was the tickets, and I rented an Airbnb for the first month because I didn't want to decide before where to live, but I've made a video about this. I'll link this above. See that, because I don't recommend usually doing this, like getting an Airbnb. It's just so expensive. I don't recommend that. It costs me like 800 euros. I don't think it was worth it. And yeah, check out my previous video about like housing tips, etc. Yeah, I don't know, past this one, I don't know why I had to change my tickets, but yeah, it says like visa appointments are kind of tricky. Oh yeah, because I guess I needed to stay in a bigger city to join my visa appointment, because it was a bit delayed, so I had to delay my ticket back to my hometown for the summer. Oh yeah. And like, yeah, so this is where basically I went to the airport. I made some notes about that. And the last thing I paid to get to the Netherlands was basically the exit tax. The last thing I paid to get to the Netherlands was basically the exit tax from Turkey. The thing every time, it's now 50 Turkish liras now. I say like here, like it's 15, but now it is 50 Turkish liras. So that's the last thing that I needed to pay. So in total, I don't know how much this makes. But, you know, just to give you an idea of like how much it costs, I don't know, like this can change from person to person, and like how many schools you're applying to, where are you going, etc. But just to give you all of the, like, I don't know, aspects of like where you will spend some money. So I think you can apply to your own situation. For example, you'll probably have to take GRE and TOEFL, etc., and ship your results to the schools. You can calculate that, how much money you'll need for that, and then you'll need some money for the immigration processes, and then you'll need some money for buying your tickets and getting out of the country. Yeah, I hope this was... I'm gonna stop sharing now. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know if you got any questions. I just tried to give you some sort of an overview of what type of costs are associated with applying to universities abroad and going there. But I made another video about what are the costs of living, for example, in the Netherlands. I'll link here. It's kind of an expensive process, especially everything you're paying are in dollars or euros. One alternative is, of course, staying in your own country to do the master's. That could be like a cost-effective option, and then you apply for PhDs 2 years later. But that's kind of like a personal decision. I personally did want to do my master's in a different place. It turned out to be a bit expensive, but thankfully I was able to get some scholarships with the tuition and also the living costs, and also I was able to get another scholarship from a generous donor that I was associated with during my undergrad studies. Yeah, so a lot of investment that goes into applying and going to a master's degree abroad. Take care and see you next time. Okay, at this point, I would like to basically calculate my overall costs from applications to going to the Netherlands, like how much it costed me to get to a Dutch University, basically. First, I need to take the GRE. I'll put the numbers on the side. I need to take the GRE. I need to send it to, like, let's say 7 schools I applied to. I don't think it was 7 though. Let's say I took the GRE, okay. I sent it to 6 schools officially. I took the TOEFL. I had to send it to 6 schools that I applied to. Then, after acceptance, I needed to send my transcript officially to the school that I was accepted to. I also sent some sort of a letter additionally to the school that I was accepted to. I cannot remember what letter this was. I need to pay the immigration fee to get my visa to enter the country or stay there as a student. So that was about 200 euros. I need to renew my passport. So that was about 10 euros. Then I need to send some original visa documents to the Netherlands again. This cost me about 6 euros. I need to buy my tickets to Amsterdam, which cost me, I'll make the conversion from Turkish liras to euros and put it here. Then I don't know if we need to take this Airbnb because it's like a very personal thing. I think we can take this out. That's like the first month. First month is usually more expensive, but it doesn't have to be this expensive. So I'll take that out. It's like, yeah, I don't think that's like a compulsory thing, or like, yeah, it's just it is something that I did. And then another thing, yeah, I needed to exit Turkey, and you have to pay some sort of a fee to exit Turkey, which was about 50 Turkish liras. I'll convert it and put it here or there. And now let's see the summation. Is it here? And this is how much I needed to pay. This is how much it cost me to. So this is how much it cost me to make my applications and get to a Dutch university for my master's degree. Yep,